Hello, everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I have just started on my journey, and I am started on Free Trade, which is a new app that I've come across, and I've seen a few YouTube videos, and I thought, oh, maybe this is a great application I can use because there's no fees, and it's simply you're allowed to deposit your money, and it allows you to invest as much or as little as you want. So I took this opportunity and I thought I'd start my little journey on YouTube. And so I deposited my first amount, which is £500. And I thought and I did a little bit of research. And so I'm going to let you know that my aim for my portfolio will be that it's a long-term dividends focused portfolio. I'm not too worried about the short term. This is a really long term investment for myself. And so some of the stocks that I've picked, uh, I will generally hold for a long time. And so I'm not really too bothered about the fluctuations in the price ranges or if they go up or down too much. So some of my options, after my money got deposited, I think it took me 1 or 2 days for it to actually clear, and then I queued it up, which takes another day for it to actually put the final transaction through onto the application. And so some of the purchases, as you can see, I have purchased. Sorry. So the first purchase that I made was IUKD, which is the UK dividend, which is a ETF. So it combines a lot of the companies, and it's got a relatively good dividend, which was quite attractive, and it's kind of spread out over a few companies. So I thought this would be an important first purchase for myself. And so what I've done is that my initial investment is £500. So I have broken this up into £100 each per per share that I'm going to buy at the beginning of my journey, so that I'm not putting all my money into one share. And so this will kind of spread the risk, as well as giving my portfolio a well-rounded balance. So my first purchase, as I just mentioned, was the UK dividend, and this has a yield of roughly about 8.52%. Obviously, depending on whether the share goes up and down, that will fluctuate. And they pay their dividends quarterly, so I expect them to be not too much, because I've only just invested £100 in him this time. So maybe in the coming months, I will put some more money into this ETF. Okay, so the next share that I picked up was Vodafone Group PLC, and this is, as I've read and done a bit of research about this is actually undervalued at the moment. So it's actually a great purchase, and even though Vodafone isn't turning over a big profit, or um, it is undervalued stock, and Morningstar has, I think, given it a 3-star rating, which was one of the reasons that prompted me to go in and purchase this. Um, even even though that in the long term, it's still a good stock to hold, because it is one of the main brands in the UK that a lot of people tend to use. Okay, and so the yield on this for the dividend yield is 5.15. So, and I think they pay theirs biannually. So that's expected 2 times on February and August. Right, and the third stock that I decided to go for was the BT Group, also an undervalued stock, and this dividend yield was also quite high, so 8.2. And then the other two, the next company that it decided on was WPP, which is actually an an advertisement company that I thought would be a quite diversified thing, and also an undervalued stock. and this has a yield, dividend yield of 6.09, which is not too bad. And the last but not least, my purchase was Everas, which was a mining company, also undervalued. But what stood out for me, and this is kind of a big gamble, because I don't know how reliable this is going to be in the long term. But the yield is 22.86%, which is really high. Whether it's sustainable or not, I'm not sure. But we'll hold on to this and see how well it does, basically. And then what happened was that the transaction went through, and I had some money left over, which was roughly about um, I think it was £60 that was kind of left over. So £18. So I spent the rest of that on the Lloyd's banking group, which was I think roughly about 29 shares. Also, and long term, something that I could hold for long term, an undervalued stock also, but with a dividend yield of 6.2, and I wasn't going to turn my nose at that one. So that was my first month's purchases this and today's date is the 5th of December. So basically these are my purchases, and hopefully in the next video I will show you my next month's purchases and how these have got on. So yes, so that pretty much wraps up the video. I would love to hear your comments on some of the stocks that I picked, and some of your advice. Maybe you could help out as someone who's just started out. And if you want to keep track of my journey and how I'm going, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button. And thank you for listening, and hopefully see you soon.